You do not have a voice, but you have memory. Your first sensation is the violent twist of a plastic cap coming off, followed by a blinding, overwhelming rush of light. An eye stares deeply into your convex glass lens. A thumb presses down heavily on your top chassis. With a sharp mechanical snap, your aperture blades slice through light. Freezing a fraction of a second into permanent reality, you are a tool. You are a witness. You are a silent, paralyzed observer bound entirely by the hands that hold you. But above all things, you are a prisoner of your own frame. You can only ever see what you are forced to look at. The man holding you has trembling hands. You feel the damp, cold sweat from his palms, seeping into your textured rubber grips. His name is Elias. You know this because he whispers it to himself, over and over like a prayer to a god he no longer believes in. He has just purchased you from a dimly lit pawn shop, trading a thick roll of crumpled bills for your heavy magnesium alloy body. You are not new. Your corners are scuffed, exposing dull silver beneath paint. And your sensor holds the microscopic dust of a dozen forgotten vacations. But Elias does not care about your condition. He only cares about your capacity to remember things. The things he is terrified he might forget. He places you on the passenger seat of a rusted sedan. The engine roars to life, vibrating through your internal gyroscopes. For hours, you watch the ceiling of the car. The flickering orange glow of streetlights bleeding through dirty windows, eventually giving way to oppressive darkness. The silence of the woods is heavy. It presses against the glass of the car. When Elias finally stops the engine, the sudden lack of vibration leaves a ringing void. He picks you up. His breathing is shallow, erratic. He carries you into a cabin built from rotting timber, smelling of wet earth, pine needles, and a deep, undisturbed isolation. He sets you down on a scarred wooden table. He reaches out, his finger finding the small red button on your back. You feel the sudden surge of electricity flooding your motherboard. The lithium-ion battery warms in your underbelly. The digital counter on your screen blinks to life. 2 hours and 40 minutes of recording time. A blinking red light appears on your front face. You are recording. You are alive. Elias sits in front of you. He is framed perfectly in your center, illuminated only by the harsh bluish glare of a battery-powered lantern. His face is pale, his eyes sunken and rimmed with an unhealthy purple hue. He looks directly into your lens. He is not looking at a machine. He is looking at his only confidant. If you are watching this, Elias whispers, his voice cracking, it means I didn't make it to the morning. It means the rules I thought I understood were wrong. It means it followed me here. He does not explain what it is. He does not offer a backstory or an apology. He simply reaches out, his dirty fingernail tapping against your glass, leaving a small smudge of oil in your unblinking eye. He turns you around, pointing your lens toward the single window of the cabin. He turns off the lantern. Total darkness consumes your frame. Your internal computer struggles. Your autofocus motor whirs softly, hunting for contrast in the pitch black. But there is nothing. Only a sea of digital noise, a static gray soup of maximum ISO sensitivity. You sit there, writing empty, dark frames to your silicon memory card, 24 times a second. Hours pass. The cabin drops in temperature. You feel the cold seeping into your battery compartment, draining your life force slightly faster than normal. The silence is absolute. But then a pattern interrupts. A subtle change in the environment your microphone detects first. A sound from outside. It is not the wind. It is not an animal. It is the distinct heavy crunch of snow under a deliberate bipedal footstep. Elias shifts in the corner of the room. He is awake. He is holding his breath. Through your lens, staring out the window, the digital static begins to organize slowly. The world shifts. The dim, warm colors of the cabin vanish, replaced by a harsh, ghostly spectrum of pale greens and blinding whites. And infrared, heat is light and cold is dark. Elias is a glowing, radiant beacon of terrified human warmth. The cabin walls are dull gray, but the attic hatch, the square hole in the ceiling, is a void of absolute freezing blackness. An unnatural cold is pouring out of it, rolling down the walls like an invisible fog. 20% battery. A sudden sharp scrape of wood on wood echoes through the room. Two long, impossibly thin hands emerge from the darkness of the attic. The fingers are gray and skeletal in the infrared light, lacking any heat whatsoever. They grip the edges of the hatch. Elias lets out a breathless whimper. He raises the knife, his arm trembling violently, shaking the floorboards and tripod. The image on your screen jitters. Slowly, agonizingly slowly, the figure lowers itself from the attic. It does not drop, it unfolds. It moves with a terrifying, liquid grace, defying gravity as it slithers down the wall like a predatory insect. Its limbs bend at horrible, inverse angles. When its feet touch the floor, it stands fully. It brushes the ceiling. It turns its face toward the camera. Elias screams loudly, a raw tearing sound that distorts your audio peaking limits beyond normal levels. But the figure ignores him completely. It does not look at the screaming man. It looks directly at your lens, staring into the glass with hollow, lightless voids. It knows exactly what you are. It knows it is being recorded. And as you watch, your processor scrambles to encode the nightmare into binary data. The featureless flesh of its face begins to shift, ripple, and tear unnaturally. The skin rearranges itself, pulling taut over shifting bone underneath. Within seconds, the face staring into your lens is Elias's face. It is a perfect, twisted mirror image. The same sunken eyes, same terror, but frozen in an expression of malicious, predatory glee. 10% battery. The red recording light blinks furiously. The real Elias lunges forward suddenly. Driven by absolute, mind-shattering terror, he charges the creature without hesitation, burying the rusted hunting knife deep into the creature's chest. But there is no blood. There is no heat signature. The creature does not react. It slowly raises its long, freezing hands, wrapping fingers around Elias's throat. Elias thrashes violently. He kicks hard, his boots slamming into the tripod leg. The impact is catastrophic. The tripod tips over. Gravity pulls you downward. Onto the floorboards, the mount breaks. You slide across the rough wood surface, coming to a halt against the far wall. Your perspective is tilted sideways, skewed at a chaotic 70-degree angle. 5% battery. From your new vantage point, lying helpless on the floor, you record everything. You watch as the creature effortlessly lifts Elias off the ground by his neck. Elias's legs kick at empty air as his glowing face turns darker. As oxygen is cut off, his hands claw desperately at the crushing fingers. But he is losing. The glowing heat of his body begins to fade slowly. You watch as life drains out of him completely. You record the exact moment. The creature holds him there briefly, simply observing the lifeless body. Then it tosses Elias's body aside carelessly. It lands near your lens. Elias's dead, open eyes stare blankly into yours. 3% battery. Your internal temperature is freezing. The creature turns, stepping into your tilted frame. It slowly crouches down, bringing its stolen face level with your lens. The infrared light shows the absence of humanity in its eyes clearly. It reaches out, its elongated fingers wrapping around your camera chassis. It lifts you from the floor. The world tilts again until upright, held directly in front of the creature's face. 1% battery remains. The creature leans in closer. Its lips part, revealing too many sharp teeth. It smiles, a terrible, cold imitation of human joy and emotion. It stares deep into your glass, looking past lens and memory. It raises a single finger and presses it gently against your lens. The red light blinks one final time. The internal relay clicks shut. The battery dies. Your processor halts. The pale green world disappears into absolute digital blackness. You fall into endless, unthinking sleep. Time loses all meaning. You have no concept of hours, days, or years. You remain dormant, holding your terrible secret inside your metal body, until the light returns slowly through a wired connection powering your system. You feel a USB cable inserted into your side port. Power flows again. Your motherboard boots up. Digital pathways open. Data begins transferring externally. You cannot see anything, but you feel your memory being accessed. You are no longer in the cabin. The air is sterile and cold. Someone is dragging your files onto a computer system nearby. You feel the transfer. You are releasing Elias's terror into another machine. Jesus Christ, a deep voice murmurs, an older man. A detective. Are you seeing this, Miller? Look at the timestamp from the missing case. You feel the playback of your final recording file on a bright screen. You show the detective the creature descending from the ceiling above. You show him the struggle. You show the impossible face stealing life. What kind of sick movie is this? The detective whispers nervously. He pauses the video on the final frame, showing the creature's smile. Miller, come look at this. This is some kind of prank. The detective turns toward his partner standing silently near the door. Miller? He asks again. A long silence fills the room. You hear a heartbeat, a shift of fabric. Then a voice replies. It is Miller's voice, but it lacks warmth. It sounds unnatural. It's just a movie detective, the partner says coldly. You hear a heavy footstep moving closer across the room slowly. You recognize that sound. The same step from the snow outside. Miller? The detective stammers. What's wrong with your eyes? You sit paralyzed. You cannot move. You cannot scream. Only record. The USB cable is suddenly ripped out. Power is cut instantly. Before darkness returns, your microphone records one final sound clearly. The sharp, unmistakable sound of a door being locked from inside.